welcome to how to develop better transitions and responsiveness in your horse. This is actually going to be part 2 of how to prep for first level, because this is when transitions get so important and you really want to focus on them going up the levels. So today we're going to show you how I develop a trot to canter transition, an exercise to work on all your transitions, as well as how to develop a medium to a lengthening in trot, which is going to be required in first level test 1. So remember, like always, to comment if you have any questions, like and subscribe, and let's get started. All right, I'm going to wake him up a little bit. So I want you to think about this first exercise I love to do is I want to think about my position first. In order to get really good transitions, it's all about the rider's positions and how good their aids are to ask for the transitions. What I mean by that, you never want to be naggy. If you are nagging on your horse, and then they're not going to get better at response time. If you are being a little too light, then they'll ignore your contact too. So first, remember to sit up, close those fingers. I get questions about the elbows and how to really think about your elbows. I like to think I glued my inside of my arms to my rib cage and I'm holding a tray table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go kind of think about I'm at the walk, right? So instead of kicking, notice he didn't even respond to that. I want to think about lower leg cuddle, and then I'm going to squeeze my thighs together. Not my thighs, sorry, my calf muscles, and I get a trot. Notice how light and invisible those aids were compared to if I just sat here and go, kick, let's go. That's not going to get a really good judge's point of view on you, and you want to make sure your aids are invisible and the horse is responsive. So if you just want to start trot to walk, do a couple of steps of the walk and then a couple of steps of the trot and vice versa. A couple steps, go up to trot. Can your aids be direct but subtle and invisible? I'm going to squeeze my thighs for the downward transition. Notice how you stopped a little abrupt, so I put my lower leg on. Now, I'm going to think calf and push him up. Nice. In this exercise, do not worry about the frame. What I mean by that, if your horse is inverted, head up in the air, or two behind the bit, don't stress about that. I want you to focus on you and getting a response in your horse rather than trying to make everything perfect. Rome was not built in a day. Focus on one thing at a time. So if I'm focusing on him, let's say he gets really lazy and I have to kick. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to give him a hug with my calf and I'm going to squeeze. If he doesn't go, it's a tap with the whip and I get a response time. Then I'm repeating that. Quicker transitions will actually develop a bigger response time in your horse. So when I go to first level and they ask me for a medium trot to a canter, I'm going to think about lower leg on. Can I get him a little supple so he's not so tense? I don't want him tense in this. I want him relaxed. Outside leg back, he goes. That's the goal. Okay. Now I squeeze my thighs. Here's my trot. So if your horse is one that will not trot and he is going to be really lazy and you feel like you have to kick him for hours to get him to canter, keep doing these walk, trot. Walk, squeeze, trot. Immediately back to walk. Get him thinking about so many things at once. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we're doing this. Then he's more in tune with you. It's usually because they are too lazy or stubborn, or they're in Neverland, I like to call, when they don't listen. So my outside leg goes back, and I go. Nice job, bud. Squeeze my thighs, and there's my trot. Canter, outside leg back. Good. There's your trot canter work. Do 1,000,000 of these. So trot the other side. Good. And trot. And I'm going to come back here just in case my microphone gets cut off. Good. Notice I'm not too worried about his frame. I just want him responsive. Once you have a really responsive horse, then ask a little bit more. Good. So let's talk about if your horse is too hot. We talked about lazy horses, and the secret and solution is going to be million quick transitions, repetition with you focusing on subtle aids. The more you repeat that, the better your transitions are going to go. Focus on just those two things. My position, light invisible aids, and for the horse, millions of quick transitions. Now, if we have to do a trot to canter, I want him supple. So that's going to be your next step. Only focus on just getting the responsiveness, then really get them in the frame when doing that. That's going to be your part 2 of that. So next, good boy, that was nice. Next, when I go up, let's talk about the lengthening to medium trot they ask you in first level. So if you don't know quite what that is, I like to think a little bit quicker and more forward, more impulsion than your medium trot. So here's an example. If I have my medium trot, I'll just post it. So a lot of times I can feel the tempo if I post it because the posting helps control the tempo, what you want. This would be like a good first level medium trot. So if I want to get lengthening, my lower leg gets on a little bit more. And I'm not kicking him up. I'm not doing this and say, go, go, go. No, you don't want to be pulling. Again, elbows glued to sides, lower leg on. I'm slowing my tempo. Now I'm going to lengthen. What am I going to do? Push my calf muscles together, let go, and then go on. I'm giving him a hug and then letting go. Hug, let go. Good. Now, can you slow the tempo with your posting? Go back to your medium trot. Notice I had to sit because he got a little lazy. I'm not asking for downward. Good. Now go up to your lengthening. Nice. Slow the posting. Hands stay steady. I'm not pulling him down. Oh. Good. And I think a little slower. Good boy. So, our circles. Get your horse responsive, walk and trot, trot to canter, million of those. Then focus on getting them more in the frame afterwards once you get that. Make sure you're not nagging. And then to practice the medium to lengthening, same thing. Can I put my lower leg on and get a lengthening without having to touch the mouth, without having to kick them forward? I just say go, let go. See my legs? I could think about squeezing, let go. Squeeze, let go. Think about that concept. That's going to be your number one tool for how to work on your transitions, get more responsiveness in your horse. Also work on the medium to lengthenings. And again, if you have comments and want to ask questions, leave them in the comments below. I will answer them the best I can. And you guys have a great day. Remember to always like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm excited for next time. See you again soon.